Good morning. My name is Karen Kong, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And welcome to my This or That Thursday. So every week I try to post 2 cards in my group and have you, my crafting community, choose a card for me to make live on Thursday mornings. I apologize, last night's post was late, and I don't know. It's the end of the school year, and I'm tired. I don't know about you, but I am tired. Last week was a busy week with like three 7 a.m. Track meet practices for my daughter, so I was up really early to get her there on time. And then I had the dance rehearsal, dance recital, sorry, this past weekend, which was the whole day, and I was volunteering and helping out in taking care of the children that were not on stage. And let me tell you, it has been a long time since I've had to look after 2 and 3 year olds, and it was hard to say the least. It was a challenging environment where we were watching the kids. Anyways, long story short, I did not sleep well that night because I was stressed out from looking after them. So I didn't get good sleep, and I didn't get good sleep the next night. It's been a long week. Anyways, enough of my sleep troubles. And if I can't speak today more than usual, you'll know why. So anyways, let's get started. This is the card that we're making today. I got my hands on a apple harvest. No, sorry. Apple harvest? Is that the... Let me see. Apple Harvest. Yes, that is the stamp set and the matching dies. And I have to be honest, I didn't love the stamp set, but the dies that make these flowers, I just love them. They're just so beautiful. So anyways, this is the card we're making. There is another card. The other card is this one. Let me show you, because I think what I want to do is maybe next week I will do this card. Morning, Sandra. Thanks for joining. So this is the fun fold that my team member taught us during our mystery card session this past week. And it was a card style that I had not seen before. Actually, this opens up too, but I haven't decorated the inside. Let me just show you. So it's a regular card. Oh, I did decorate. I did stamp, but I didn't really decorate. Anyway, so this was a great fun fold, and I think I might do this next week. So stay tuned. If you wanted to watch, how this card is made, I will probably do it next week. But I'm going to come up with maybe a different design, try it with something else, because I wasn't 100% sure I loved this card. I do like how it turned out, but I think I want to try it with something else too. Okay, so if you're joining me for the first time, I do post all my measurements. Good morning, Shalee. Thanks for joining in. I do post all the measurements and all the colors and everything I used in the video description after I am done. So you don't have to write it all down. You can check it out afterwards. So just let me get the computer up and running so I can see your comments while we are crafting. I would love it if you tell me where you're watching from, if you're catching me live, and even if you're watching the replay, it would be great if you comment and say hi. It's always nice to have company. When I craft, it's no fun talking to myself because I'm not really good at it. Here we go. I'm just going to get this going. All right, we are up and running on my machine. Let me switch over to the desktop. So just close your eyes while I move my camera so you can see my desktop, okay? Just a second. All right, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. So you don't have to look at so much mess on my table. Okay, so if I don't remember to keep it all on screen, you can remind me in the comments if I'm off screen. So here's what we're using. This is the Apple Harvest set. That's the primary set that we're using today. I pulled my sentiment from Happiness Abounds. I love this retired set sentiments. The sentiments are so pretty here, and I have always pulled them out for happy birthdays and congratulations and such. Good morning, Marilyn. Thank you for joining in. And I played around with the background for this card a lot. I tried the So Swirly and the, what's the other one that's got the swirls on it? Let me just double check. So Swirly and, oh my goodness. Like I said, brain is on the fritz. Soft Waves, that was the other one I tried, and it just didn't work for me. But this is the Timeworn Type 3D embossing folder that I use for this background, and I think it works really well with it. So let's get started. It's not a hard card to make, and I pulled out my sponge daubers for this to give a softer shading on the flowers, because I've seen lots of people just color in with markers, which is another option. But I thought I would try using my sponge daubers to give it a kind of a softer look, okay? And the next thing I want to try with this, actually, if I have time on screen, I will do it, but probably more likely I will do it off screen and then post the results later. But I want to try using my water painter to get a more varied color on the leaves and on the flowers. I've seen some really wonderful results with that from other demonstrators. So let's get started. This is the square card. Like I told you, I was kind of focusing on square cards because I have a whole stash of square envelopes that need to be used up. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to make some room, and let's go. So I don't know about you. I don't know what it is. I think the universe is playing tricks on me or playing a joke on me, because every now and then, regularly now, I get mailings from charities that I might have donated to, and what they send me, you're gonna laugh, are cards. I get cards like this, and these ones are kind of cute. Like, they have matching envelopes with like the card. These are kind of cute and they're pretty, and I cannot use them because I feel like if I send these to anybody who knows that I make cards, they will be offended, because these are prefab and they're free and sent from, like, you know, a charity. So anyways, I don't know. I keep getting these. I've got like at least 3 or 4 sets, and I just don't know what to do with them. I keep meaning to donate them somewhere, but I just never get around to it. Anyways, I thought I'd share with you my latest set. Okay, so let's cut the card base first. Let me make some more room here so that you can see the card. Okay, so it is a 5x5 card, so I need a 5x10 piece of cardstock. No, Shirley, it's not a glass mat. It's actually, Tara gave me this suggestion. I took a piece of grid paper, Stampin' Up! Grid paper, and I had it laminated at Staples. And it has worked really great, because before this I would just use paper and it would just get torn up and dirty after a while. But this one has held up and it works so well. It was a great solution. I didn't go for the glass mat because I felt that I didn't want the lip from the glass, because I knew that if I had a lip, my tools would not sit flat. Actually, if I gave that prefab card to Sandra, she won't speak to me again, I think. She would be so insulted. Okay, so I need a 5x10 piece of paper for my card. So this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to cut it at 5 inches wide. And we'll trim it down to 10 inches. So actually 10 inches, I'm just going to trim off one instead of having to bring out the arm, just because I'm feeling lazy. I'm going to use the other side to trim off one. Yes, it would be funny, but now you all know that I have these prefab cards, so Okay, so I've scored it at 5 inches so that it will, at the halfway mark, so that it'll fold nicely. And let's just fold that and make it a little bit smaller so it doesn't take up so much room on my desk. Just looking for my bone folder, which of course has disappeared because I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So the next thing I have here is I have several mats. Okay, so I have one that is embossed. I have the one that creates a border around my stamped image, and then of course the one that the stamped image is on. So this one is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. So I shouldn't have put away my trimmer so quickly. I'm gonna have to trim all the other pieces first. Like I said, the coffee has not kicked in yet. My brain is extra tired this week, more tired than usual. Hard to believe. Okay, so let me grab another piece of paper. And it will be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Oh, Sandra's blaming the gnome set on Shalit. Not me. I didn't get that. I didn't encourage that. Okay, 4 3/4. And 4 3/4. Okay, and then I need soft sea foam, which is the, I wanted a nice light color. I wanted it to be a soft card. So let's see. So the soft sea foam is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm just going to trim this leftover piece that I have. 3 1/4 by... Oh, I might have done this wrong. This is reality crafting. I'm looking at my measurements and it did not make sense to me that my soft sea foam was smaller than my white one underneath. And I just realized I must have written it down. No, it is right. Okay, so it is 3 1/4. It's my white that was incorrectly written down. Phew. Okay, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. All right, and then the last piece is 3 by 3. Three by 3. Okay, so I think that's it. Everything else is scrapped from here on out. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring over my cut and emboss machine so we can do the embossing and all the die cutting, because there's a lot for this card to get all those little leaves and flowers. And the good thing is that for this particular apple blossom set, the apple harvest, they did include lots of dies so that you can cut many flowers at once, and leaves and everything, because I guess they knew that we were gonna have to like cut several of them. So rather than torture us by cutting them out one by one, there's lots of those dies in this set. All right, I'm looking for my embossing folder. It's the Timeworn Type. Okay. So I need to get these out of the way. It's a 3D embossing folder, so I don't need those plates. I'm going to need just the top gray plate. And let's put this through. All right. There we go. There's the mat. And we're going to cut a bunch of flowers and such. So let me bring in all those dies. So I have my little magnetic wool here to hold everything. So I cut a bunch of the leaves out of soft sea foam, but I did cut a bunch out of white as well, and I sponged on the color to try and give it some variation. I don't know if you can tell. Let me just show you. So these ones are just soft sea foam, and I did actually add some shading using the sponge dauber as well, but these ones here, like those were white to start with. So I'm not sure if it's really visible. It's a subtle touch. You know, it just depends on how much ink you add, I guess, when you're sponging on. So let's go ahead and cut a bunch out of the soft sea foam. Oops. He just wants to turn around. Okay. I don't remember how many I used, but let's put a bunch on. Although I don't know what it is, but these guys just seem to want to stick to each other. It's not magnetic underneath here, so I don't know what the problem is. I guess it's just static. Weird. Okay, so I'm just going to stagger them more. Okay, and the flowers I just cut out of white. So let me grab a strip of leftover white here. And I'm going to need more. I think I'll need more white to do this. Let's get some more out in a second. I think I only have 4 flowers. Can't remember. That's all I have. Oh, is this one? No, that's not. Okay, and of course the stamens or whatever they're called in the middle. These are. This is actually lemon lolly. I decided not to use the daffodil because I found lemon to be softer and I thought it would look nicer. Okay. Let me grab the top plate and let's run all this through. Just making sure nothing moved after I put the plate down. All right, good to go. Oh, I can see that's moving. Oh, it popped back. All right. Let's try not to lose any of these dies. Good morning, Tara. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so let me move these aside and we'll cut a few more because I think I have 5 flowers there and a whole pile of leaves. Look at the detail on those die cuts. I really love these, that they put little lines there to show the shade, not shading, but to show grooves or like just details. I just love those little details. Okay, let's put this through again. Oh, I need to get these ones out too. Lots of little parts. Okay, one more time. Let's grab some more scrap white. There we go. I'll just cut a couple of small ones here. And I think I'll just cut a couple of those middle pieces to match the flowers. Okay. Oh, I was going to cut some of these in white, actually. Some of the leaves in white, so I can show you the sponging on that too. Everybody's kind of quiet. Ask me questions. Keep me company. Tell me a joke. Okay, I have a bad joke for you guys. It's like kind of like a dad joke or whatever, but it makes me laugh. If you speak French, you don't even really have to speak French for this, actually. Okay, here's the joke. What do you call a Frenchman in sandals? What do you call a Frenchman in sandals? Anybody got guesses? I don't think so. Let me tell you. Okay, what do you call a Frenchman in sandals? Philippe Philop. Philippe Philop. I don't know. It just makes me laugh every time I say it. I know, that's pretty sad entertainment while I'm die cutting and stuff. Okay, that's all I need this for right now. I'm just going to move it out of the way. It's a sad joke, but it's amusing. I just find it funny. I laugh every time. Sandra's either not listening or she's not amused. Okay, let me move those out of the way and set these aside so I don't lose them. It might be a dad joke, Tara, but did you laugh? Did you smile? All right, we have some sponging to do. After this, I need to get some scrap paper. Sandra's looking for the eye rolling emoji. Come on, did you not laugh at all? Not even crack a smile. Come on. Okay, so let's do the flowers first. The flowers are really easy. It's just really the centers and blending outwards a little bit. Okay, so I've got all my flowers here. I have my little sponge dauber. And, oh, I need my Petunia Pink. Sorry, Petunia Pop. All right, so I'm just gonna pat this over here, and I don't want it to be full strength. I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm gonna tap off here first, and I'm gonna very lightly tap in the center here. Ooh, even that's pretty strong. I'm gonna leave that one. I'm going very lightly. And it doesn't have to be the center. I was looking at pictures of real apple blossoms, and some of them have the shading, the pink shading, like on the edges of their petals. But I'm going to do all mine in the center. And just spread out a little bit. But but they all vary. Like there's no standard, well, I mean, like on the same plant, maybe they're the same, but I found that even between different apple blossoms, they, the coloring, some of them may have only a tiny bit of pink, some of them are mostly white, and then there are some that are all pink, so you could play with this for sure, to whatever you like. But it's a softer way to add color using the sponge daubers, and you can blend it out a little better than with the markers. There we go. So see, I didn't even re-ink this, and I've got like varying amounts of pink on this. Okay, I'm gonna go with the soft sea foam next on the leaves. And I added, like I said, I added some to this as well, to the green leaves as well, just to add a little bit more depth. Because when I was making the card, I didn't know if I was going to be putting it on a soft sea foam background, and I knew that if I did, they would just blend in. So I was just playing and seeing how it would look. And it still looks good. I mean, if you don't add any shading, that is totally fine too. See, it's just a little bit. I didn't add a lot. Just mainly to the bottom area, right? I'm just patting it on. Really easy way to add the shading. Makes it look more realistic, I think, when it's not just a flat green, but I mean, just play with this, and you don't have to add shading, you don't have to do any of that. That's totally up to you how you want your card to look and how the flowers to look. And it's just fun to play. I do want to play with the watercoloring and die cut from the watercolored paper. I think that'll look fantastic. Okay, so those are my green ones done. Let's do some white. So I'm going to move these guys out of the way. And I'm going to leave the tips more whitish, but most of it will be green. This will be just a light green. There we go. See, when I'm done, like when you put it next to one that was die cut from green, it's really hard to tell which is which. So if you don't have soft seafoam cardstock, this is how you could fake it. You can use the ink pad and the sponge dauber to add the color you need to get a leaf in the color that you want. There. I think that's good. All right. It just adds depth and variation to the color, and gives you something to play with. Okay. I'm going to assemble the little flowers with the stamens next, so that I don't lose them. And I'm going to show you how to curl the leaves up. If I can just find my silicone mat. Here we go. All right. So you can leave the leaves flat if you like. It's probably best for mailing if you leave it flat, because I don't know what they're going to look like once they've gone through the mail system. But if it's a hand-delivered card, you may want to add the lift here. Let me show you a little bit better. That makes a more 3D card, right? And you can use a pencil. You could use your finger. You could you don't need to use anything special. But it is easy with a bone folder, which I have misplaced again. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's move the leaves up. So all you need to do is I just take the tip of my bone folder and I just use it to just slightly bend it up. Just kind of like when you're curling ribbon for wrapping, right? And like I said, you don't have to do this. It looks beautiful flat as well. See, just very slightly. It doesn't have to be much. Sandra's saying it gives a more delicate look to solid cardstock. You're talking about the shading with the sponge dauber, I believe, right, Sandra? And definitely the watercoloring is definitely makes it look more realistic and delicate. So this is not hard at all, and it just takes a few seconds. And it just gives you more of a wow factor to the card. Here we go. Last one. There. Okay. I'm just going to take my glue and I'm just going to add a drop in the center for each of those little stamens. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right on these, so I know that because it's so small, I don't want to put a dot in the wrong spot, but I think it should be fine. If you just put it in the center, it should be fine. I'm just going to do it in the center of these little things and then we'll apply them. Okay. Okay, I'm using my tweezers. Actually, you don't have to have a bone folder to do that. You could do it with your finger or even just a pencil, but the bone folder is just handy. And I do like it for burnishing my folds, so it is a handy tool to have. Oh, did I put that in the wrong one? I think that was a bigger one. A bigger stamen. Yeah, I put the wrong... Oh! Stuck to me. There we go. This one is on the wrong one. I think that's meant for a bigger flower. Let me take that off. Take the littler one and put it on. this is a little one. I think the bigger one could go on this one. Luckily the glue is not dry. And we'll just put it over here. Still looks big. I don't know. Let me put a tiny bit more glue. You know what, Tara? I actually keep 2 lying around. You know, because you end up forgetting where one is or whatever, but you know, it happens. It's not a bad thing to have 2. There we go. All right, all my flowers are assembled. Let's put them aside. Okay, so I think it's just assembly. Oh no, you know what? I have a branch. And I did die cut the branch out of white so I could add the shading in pecan pie, I believe I have. Just a second. I decided not to cut the branch out of a solid brown. Just personal preference. I thought I'd just try it. I'm sure it would look just as good, but in my case I have sponged on the brown as well. Yeah, good idea, Shali, because it's not a huge item. It's just a small item to add if you need to just top up your total. The sponge daubers are also not super expensive either. There we go. Okay, now we can assemble. So let's get these out of the way. We'll get our card base, and I'm just going to make sure my fold is on the left side. And let's glue this on. Oh, even though the Timeworn Type doesn't really have like really distinguishable words, I do want to make sure they're right side up, because you can tell there's a couple of letters that do show up distinctly, and I don't want it to be upside down. But nobody would really notice if you put it upside down by accident. They'd have to be looking for it. Oh, you know what? I need to stamp. I need to stamp this guy. So what I stamped on here was actually the apples from this set. I have my stamp apparatus set up because I knew that there was shading on this and that I could possibly need to stamp it twice. The other thing is I know that my my soft sea foam, it was a little bit juicy, so I will sweep it to one side, sweep the ink. If you've never seen me do this, basically I'm just kind of pushing the excess ink to one side to make sure that it's not too wet when it inks up my image, and I don't get these kind of blobby looks in my stamped image. So I'm just going to take like an old credit card, and I am going to brush the ink. You just need a straight edge of some sort. Some people use their bone folders, but I don't want to stain my bone folder. So I just use an old credit card to push the ink to one side. Okay. And then I will ink up my image. see how that turned out. Pretty good this time. There's a little bit of ink missing there, so I'm just going to put it down again and make sure that everything transferred. That'll be fine. Once we put the flowers in, it'll probably get covered up anyways, so I might decide to turn this image actually. May decide to try and do it this way instead. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. All right. I'm just going to take my chamois and clean off my stamp so I don't ink something else by accident. Let's move that out of the way. All right, now I'm going to mount this onto my soft sea foam. Bye, Tara. Have a great day. Thanks for joining in. So I'm going to put some ink, sorry, not ink, glue, not too close to the border because I like to sometimes have to move it around because I didn't put it down properly, and that makes sure that I don't end up with glue on the outside edges when it kind of mushes out, right? Oops, see, just like that. So I accidentally dropped it. So I can move that and we're good. All right. So on this card, I had positioned the branch like this. And I'm thinking maybe I could try like this and then position my branch, my die cut branch, maybe more like this. What do you think? Is that upside down? I think it looks kind of upside down actually. The apples would not be hanging like that actually. I may not be able to do it that way. Okay, we'll go with the original. Maybe if I'd stamped it slightly different orientation, I could turn it around. But for now, we'll stick with the what we had before. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you learned something today, Shali. Whoops, that went too close there. All right, so I'm just going to center this. Put it on. If you wanted to, you could put this up on dimensionals. It might depend on whether or not you plan to send this through the mail system or not, or hand deliver. But I figured since these are 3D already, I won't add more height. And the branch, this particular branch, and the way I've laid it out, is slightly off the this mat. So if I put it up higher, then this would be falling off, or it would be raised up but no support underneath. So I think I'm just going to leave it flat. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And I just use small dots. It gives me a tiny bit more control over how much glue I'm putting. And it doesn't need to have glue all over the branch. I mean, you just need a few dots here and there strategically placed, and that's really all it needs. Because cards don't usually get like a lot of rough handling, so it doesn't have to be nailed down. Okay. All right, so let's just place this like this. And then we'll arrange our flowers and such. So I found that it was easiest to arrange the flowers on and then tuck the leaves underneath. Okay, so I'm just going to figure out where I want to put these and lay them out, and then I will glue on the flowers after I've figured out where I want them to go. It's a little bit more difficult because the petals are curled up, but it's fine. I could actually put an extra flower in here, maybe. Yeah, I think so. All right. Okay, so let's start putting these on. And you know what? I used glue for these ones, but then they shifted around while I was trying to push the other ones on, but that's okay. I was thinking of using a glue dot, like cutting a half a glue dot, but I think I'll continue with the glue because it does allow for me to adjust them as it dries. It's still, you know, I can still twist them because some of the petals get in the way. So I'm just going to put this guy here, and yeah, let's just put that one there. So Shali sent out a great tip about how to keep everything, all the elements in place when you have a lot of layering. And this won't work for this one because these are made 3D now, right? Because I've raised up the petals, but it would work for a flat arrangement. And that's something I always struggled with, trying to figure out, okay, I've got my layout, and how am I going to actually glue everything down if I have to lift everything up again? So that was always my predicament. Oops. See, that's the thing with using glue for this, is that they do move because they're not dried yet. Okay. But it was using Glad Press and Seal, which I've never used before. I'm going to have to try that technique sometime and maybe show you guys. Or you can look it up, because I know that there are other demonstrators who have done this, and it seems like a great way, because you know, when you've got that layout down and it's like, oh, it looks so beautiful like that, I don't want to forget how I laid it out. It would help transfer the design over so that you can add glue and glue it down. Okay, I'm just using one dot of glue here. I don't want to put more glue because I want to have room to stick the leaves underneath. So if I nail down all the petals, they won't lift, so I can slide my leaves underneath. And I'll slide this one inside here this time. Oops, that one just popped up. So pressing on the leaf. And I'm going to have to slide this one in a little bit. There we go. Okay, my flowers are down. And let's start adding leaves. And normally I would lay it all out again, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and just start putting them in. And just kind of follow my original design here as guidance so that it doesn't take so long. Okay, so I'm only putting dots of glue at the very base of the leaf. So when I slide it in, if there's glue on the paper, it'll just appear under here. But if I put glue dots at the very tip and I slid it in, I would have glue probably over here where it's visible. So that's why I only put glue in the very base of the leaf. Whoops. And you don't want to put too much glue because they do, the glue will ooze out of these little cuts in the paper if you put too much. I'm going to do a few leaves so I can grab them quicker. Okay. Slide this one underneath here. There we go. This can go underneath this one. And I think we just need a few more. So let's put a little bit more leaves on the top branch. Yes, you could definitely color these with blending brushes, for sure. Yeah, there's many ways you could add color to this. There's lots to play with. Well, I know you meant for another card, Sandra. I just thought that I'm just thinking about like what I could do for the next one, because I actually want to try this, like I said, with watercoloring. Okay, I'm going to put this one over here. And let's put one here. I think I want one just here too. I think I have enough leaves. What do you think? All right. So that's the majority of the card. Let's do the sentiment. That is one of the last things to do. I'm gonna get a scrap of Petunia Pop, and we will stamp this with Versamark and I'll emboss it. I need a piece of scrap paper to catch all the embossing powder. So this is gonna grab my sentiment, which I'm grabbing from another set. Okay, so that's how I pick it up, to try and make sure that it's kind of straight as I put it on the table, and then I pick it up with my block. Okay, let's ink that up. Great. And add some embossing powder. Oh, I knew I'd forget this every single time. I even brought my embossing buddy, the little, I don't know what you call this. It's like a little pad, no, like a little pillow. And it just takes away the static from the paper, so you don't get excess powder sticking to it. So now I'm just going to tap it off to try to get that excess powder off. And I got my brush. I'm just going to brush off those little extra white specks so that they don't get heat embossed onto my sentiment. All right, let's move this aside, and I'm gonna bring in my heat gun. Oh, I need my tweezers to hold this one. I don't want to burn my fingers. All right. Missed a little section at the end here. There we go. All right, so inside this set, the die set for this includes a tag die. And it's longer than I need, so I'll show you how I customize it to this sentiment, right? Because if I cut it, it's extra long, which is, I mean, for this particular sentiment, it works, but if you wanted something, if you use something shorter, you would want to cut it down. So there is a trick to doing that. Let me bring my cut and emboss machine back in. I'll move these over to the side. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through only part way. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. Yeah, I think that looks good. Looks straight. Yeah, this set of dies is quite large. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position my top plate so that I guarantee that I do not run it too far, because I want to shorten it on this side, right? So I'm just going to put it over top of to the beginning of happy, and we'll run it through like that so that it only cuts to the H, and then we'll turn it around and cut it the other way. Okay, so let's show you what happens. So I only cut to the H. I'm going to turn it around this way now. We're going to position the die, and you can feel when it kind of falls into the groove, and position it so that it's just where you want it, so that you don't end up with the full length of the die anymore in your die cut. So like I said, you just kind of move it around until you feel it fall into the groove. Like I can feel it's like of what, you know, the groove of the already cut sections, and I can feel it's not moving, so that's going to be fine. And again, I'm not going to cut all the way through, all the way to the end of the die, so I'm just going to, because it'll fit into the exact same cut spots that were there before, so I can cut up to there if I wanted to. But if I wanted to just shorten it and make it cut there, it's fine too. And see, now you have a perfectly customized die cut for your sentiment, and that's how you do it. All right, So I'm going to add some twine, a little twine bow. And I always tie my bow on the spool while it's still on the spool, because then I can customize the length. If I get it wrong, I can just untie it and do it again. Yeah, like I said, like it wasn't the stamp set that drew me to this, and it wasn't until I saw all the demonstrators making beautiful cards with these apple blossoms that I realized that it was really the dies that I wanted. Shirley, is that enough for you? Okay, so I think that's probably a little bit too big. I'm going to make the loops a little bit smaller. So I'm going to pull on these. Okay, and tighten them. Okay, so the loops want to go this way. I'm going to turn it around. So I hold it behind here, and I think about whether or not I like that look before I glue it on. I think I want this loops just a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, that's good. So I will trim it there. And I'm going to add some stamp, actually I'll use tear and tape. Just to hold the bow. Where's the end? Okay, so I'm just going to put some tear and tape down. And I'm just going to use my judgment to, stick it on the back here. Does that look good? I'm going to move it down just a little bit, just so I can see that lower loop a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to use dimensionals to pop it up so that this bow doesn't cause it to buckle, like to bend when it's on the paper. So one on each side, and I'll probably put one in the middle. This is just a little bit leftovers. There we go. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to put this on the bottom right of my card. That's good. And that is our card today. Like I said, I really love these blossoms, and I really looking forward to playing with watercolors. I don't think we have time today. We've gone over an hour today, so I will post that. I'm going to try it out probably right now, because I know if I don't do it now, it won't get done. And I'll show you the difference, and you can see the different ways you could add colors to your apple blossoms or your flowers, and enjoy playing with them. Okay, so that's it for this week. I hope you guys are inspired to make something yourself, and have a great week. I will see you next week. Bye, guys.